Hey there guys, what is going on? We've got something a little bit different for you here today. We are looking at specific distances in terms of our best class setups here for you today. We are looking at the best and top 5 close range options in Cold War right now in Season 4. We did a video like this of Season 3 and this list has changed slightly as of my opinions have changed, and these weapons are very, very powerful up close in the Cold War. Time to kill is mostly what we are going for here with a lot of these weapons. These weapons really do excel at close range. Some of them we will point out though extend to other distances, and we will point that out as we do go on. But again, just before we do get into it here, make sure you do hit that subscribe button with those notifications turned on. I do very much appreciate it, and it really does help me out. If this video does get to, say, let's go 20 likes by Friday, we will be releasing a best long-range weapons in the game. And if you do like this video, I'm sure you will be very interested in the long-range section as well. So let's talk about the top 5 best close-range options in Cold War Season 4, because there's actually some interesting weapons on this list, some real heavy hitters here. So the first weapon that we do have on our list here is the KSP45. Now, this thing does feature a time to kill if you are getting a one-burst kill of 220 milliseconds. Now, typically the mark that we do want to reach for a very good weapon in this game is about 300-ish milliseconds. Like, that's sort of an average-ish time to kill for a lot of the good weapons in this game. And the fact that this does get ahead of that with that one burst kill at about 220 milliseconds is super, super fast. This isn't a weapon for everyone, as it is a bit of a burst SMG, so it can be a little tricky to use. But this is one of my favorite weapons in the game for fighting up close. It absolutely deletes people, and this class setup is super, super fun. As usual, we start off with our secondary here. You can take whatever you do prefer in this slot, whether that be a Diamante, a shotgun, a launcher, whatever you prefer. In the tactical, we do go with the stim shot because getting that extra chance per life is very, very important. The lethal slot we do run with the Semtex because it is always a reliable option to kill people. The field upgrade, specific close range option here, we do have the field microphone. This does give us that mini advanced UAV-like effect on the minimap, meaning we can take people out very, very easily when they are in this. Then we move to, of course, the wild card. Most of these class setups will be a perk greed variety, and we will point out where they are not. So 6 perks is super strong here, and those perks are going to be as follows with all of the 6 perk class setups. They are Flak Jacket and Forward Intel for the explosive resistance from Flak Jacket. And for Forward Intel, this does give us a larger minimap as well as being able to see the enemy respawn locations. In terms of the perk 2, we do have Scavenger and Tracker here for those enemy footprints, as well as giving us that extra ammo on people we do kill. And you already know what Ninja and Ghost do. For the most part, these are the 2 best close range perks in the game for no footstep noise and, of course, staying off of the radar. So as I said, the attachments for the KSP are all designed around trying to get as many one burst kills up close, while sort of staying a little stealthy with the silencer, of course. This is a very, very fun weapon to use if you haven't used the KSP45. Make sure you do try it out, level it up, and get some stuff going here, because this thing is so much fun. With the muzzle here, we do start off with that sound suppressor for a 100% increase to our muzzle flash concealment, meaning we do stay off of that radar when we are firing. This does reduce our damage range by 15%, which isn't ideal, but it is one of those options that is definitely worth it here for the sound suppression. Again, the barrel, we go with the task force option for an increase to our damage of 6%, as well as 50% damage range and 75% bullet velocity. If we do take a look at those numbers here, this does give us a damage number of 53, meaning we can secure a lot more one burst kills here, as well as 20 meters of damage range, which is really, really nice, as well as 460 meters per second of bullet velocity, meaning we can maximize our hit detection here. Then the underbarrel, you got different choices here that you can go with. This thing doesn't have super lots of recoil as it is, so you can take a patrol grip here for a sprinting movement speed and sprint to fire speed increase as well. This is quite nice. Or you can take the SFOD speed grip for a little extra recoil control as well as sprinting movement speed. Or if you just want some straight up recoil control, you can go with the field agent grip as well, just for recoil control stats. Then the handle, we do go with the serpent wrap here for a 25% increase to our aim down sight speed. This is a very, very important attachment for getting those sights up nice and quickly. Keep in mind, we haven't chosen the airborne elastic wrap here because this does reduce our shooting movement speed and our sprint to fire speed as well, which are very, very important stats up close. But if you do prefer the elastic wrap, you can always take this instead. And then the last attachment that we do have here is a combination choice of the snow stock or the Raider stock here. I find that the Raider stock with this weapon actually throws off my aim a little bit, as you do move faster with the aim walking movement speed, so it can be a little bit more difficult to hit shots, but I'd say the Raider stock is probably better overall for that higher skilled player. But I really do just like the no stock for the 30% increase to our sprint to fire time, but again, you can pick and choose here what you do prefer. So as I said, the KSP45 is an absolutely lightning fast killing weapon, really, really fun to use if you are getting those one burst kills. It's probably beneficial if you do fire off those 2 bursts anyway, just to secure that kill. So just keep that in mind here with this thing. It's a really fun weapon to use. Moving on here, we do have another AK74u class setup coming at you. We did feature this in a video yesterday. If you haven't seen that, make sure you do go check it out. Again, the secondary here is, of course, as usual, whatever you prefer in this slot. We'll talk more about the AK74u in just a second. Don't miss that. Stim shot, of course, for being able to continue our gunfights. Again, the Semtex or the C4, depending on what you want in the lethal slot. The field upgrade, you can take a jammer, you can take a field microphone. We really dig the field microphone at the moment. Again, the wild card, the perk greed, of course, we only want 5 attachments on this thing so we can get 6 perks, and the same 6 perks that we mentioned before in flak jacket and forward intel. You can take assassin on these class setups, but I really do like tracker for close range combat. And then Ghost and Ninja here as well to combine that and round this out. So again, the AK74u is all about killing up close. The damage range on this thing is not what it used to be. It only has a damage range of about 11 meters or so, and then the time to kill does drop off a little bit. It's not super bad at medium range, but this thing is a real star up close. I think somebody mentioned it to me the other day. If you're getting a couple of headshots, you're getting a time to kill like 150 milliseconds, which is like ridiculously fast in this game. Absolutely insanely fast killing weapon up close. If you throw in a 1 headshot, 2 headshots, you're getting a 3-shot kill, which is super, super nice here. So keep that in mind with the AK74u. This thing blows people away. Anyway, the attachments on this thing are going to be as follows here. Starting with the muzzle, we do have that Spetsnaz compensator. This does give us a 12% increase to our vertical recoil control. Really nice to help keep those shots down. Then we move to the barrel here for the task force variety, for the damage increase, for the range increase, and the velocity increase. Again, these numbers are as follows with 41 damage per bullet. And you keep in mind, we do have a 1.4 times headshot multiplier here, allowing us to get that 3-shot kill. Moving on here, we do have the underbarrel for the Spetsnaz speed grip. A 3% increase to our sprinting movement speed is a nice little boost here. You can just take the foregrip though for just a straight up recoil control. These do share the same bonuses and no negatives from the speed grip on the foregrip, so you can choose whatever you do prefer here. Then the handle, again, we do have the serpent wrap for not reducing our shooting movement speed and sprint to fire speed with the Gru elastic wrap, but again, you can pick and choose with these attachments, serpent wrap or the Gru elastic wrap. They're both pretty good options. And then to round this off, we do have the KGB skeletal stock here for the sprint to fire speed increase, as well as the aim walking movement speed increase that we get here. Again, you can take a no stock if you don't want that extra aim walking movement speed, but it's easier to control with the AK74u than it is with the KSP 45. Next, we do have the AK47. Now, this is an interesting weapon on this list. It does have a 300 millisecond time to kill. Depending on how you do kit the barrel out, it can extend to 70 meters. But because we are talking about close range combat here, we're sort of sticking around the 30-ish, 33, 35 meter mark, which is still pretty acceptable for an assault rifle in this game. Moving on to the rest of our class setup here, again, whatever you use secondary you do prefer is whatever you want, man. So you can take a melee weapon, you can take a launcher, you can take a pistol if you do prefer that. That is up to you. Again, the stim shot, the field microphone, and the Semtex in the first 3 slots. We don't really have to choose this, but again, these are the options that I do prefer. Again, we do have 5 attachments on this AK47 class setup, so 6 perks for flak jacket, forward intel, scavenger, tracker, ninja, and ghost here. Again, as I was saying with the AK47, this thing is very, very interesting. This does feature one of the faster times it kills. It's not super lightning fast like an AK74u, but it is a consistent killing weapon at 300 milliseconds out to about 35 meters or so, which is really, really nice here. And again, the hit detection is the real star of the show here that we go with this thing, the Liberator barrel that we have chosen. Does give us a 100% increase to our bullet velocity, which means we are excellent at hit detection with this thing. The bullet velocity is 1300 meters per second, which is really, really fast. Means you can hit the target as easily as possible. Just there's no problem with hit detection with this thing. A excellent, excellent weapon to choose. In the muzzle, we do have that sound suppressor. This does give us that muzzle flash concealment as well. Again, this does reduce our effective damage range and bullet velocity, but it is not as much as it was before. So this is still a nice boost here for that sound suppression. Staying off of the radar is very, very important for up close combat. Again, then we move to the underbarrel for that speed grip here. The sprinting movement speed increase of 5% is really, really nice for getting us around the map very, very quickly, as well as that 15% increase to that horizontal recoil control is super nice for just staying on target here. This AK-47 doesn't really have lots of recoil as it is, but this does help out a little bit. Then the handle, again, that serpent wrap for the aim down sight speed increase of 25%. You can take the Gru elastic wrap as we mentioned already, but again, shooting movement speed and sprint to fire speed stats are quite important for close range combat. And then to round this out, we do have the stock for the KGB skeletal variety. This does give us that sprint to fire time and a 40% increase to our aim walking movement speed. Is a great way to round this class setup out because we do want those extra stats with the AK-47 because it is slightly slower in terms of that aim walking movement speed. This is a great attachment here. Moving on here, we do have another SMG here, and that is the MAC-10. This thing is an absolute laser beam up close, and anything outside of those distances, you are just going to be unable to hit shots. So that is the MAC-10 curse, and I feel like that's in a fairly decent spot. Like, just being able to delete people up close is pretty good, and then it does struggle, as I said, at those medium distances with that recoil control. You can still get it done, but it's one of those things, you will struggle. Again, this actually is an 8 attachment class setup. Again, the secondary, whatever you prefer here, you can take a pistol, you can take a shotgun, whatever you want, up to you. Again, the middle 3 slots, the Simshot, the Semtex, and of course the field microphone. These are again up to you. We do have Gunfighter here for the 8 attachment class setup. I can't really make a decent 5 attachment Mac 10 class setup, so you do actually have to run Gunfighter here. And our Gunfighter perks are Flak Jacket, Scavenger, and Ninja to round this class setup off. The attachments on the Mac 10, again, you are getting about a 250 millisecond time to kill up close with this thing. And then outside of about 10 meters, 12 meters or so, you are going to struggle with that time to kill, as well as having that recoil issue. It's just a tough weapon to use sometimes outside of very close range. So we start off with that SOCOM Eliminator here for the 85% increase to that muzzle flash concealment, meaning our red dot does disappear off the minimap very quickly when we are firing with this thing, as well as 25% increase to our vertical recoil control here. This is a very necessary attachment to help keep us on target. Again, to the barrel, we do have the reinforced heavy. We cannot take the task force barrel under any circumstances here because this does increase our recoil. So the reinforced heavy does increase our damage range slightly, as well as that bullet velocity is a nice boost. Moving to the body, we do have the steady aim laser to give us that hip fire accuracy. Little boost up close is a super nice option. Then we move to the underbarrel. We do have the SFOD speed grip here for the 10% increase to our vertical recoil control and 10% horizontal recoil control. This isn't really about the sprinting movement speed boost. It is nice, but this is more about those recoil control stats. This is the only speed grip that does this, and it is actually quite interesting attachment here. This does make it a little easier to hit shots, but again, you will still struggle at longer distances. Then the magazine, we do have the Salvo 53 round fast mag for a very fast reload speed, as well as the most amount of bullets to fire here. Then the handle, we actually take the airborne elastic wrap here for the most amount of aim down sight speed, because we are taking the largest magazine. That does reduce our aim down sight speed by 25%. So we want to get a little boost here in terms of the airborne elastic wrap for that aim down sight speed, flinch resistance, and then the aim more going prone is quite nice. Then to round this off, we are actually taking the no stock here over the Raider stock. There's a couple of reasons for that. If we look at the Raider stock, this does include like the bars on the back of it. As you can see, it is kind of annoying to use these bars to actually shoot people. They actually block off the iron sights a little bit, and it can be quite inconvenient. This also does reduce our hip fire accuracy by 15% extra over the no stock, so just keep that in mind here. We want to hip fire with this thing sometimes, so we take the no stock for just the 30% increase to our sprinter fire speed, and that rounds off this class setup. This is a very, very good weapon up close, and again, you will struggle at those sort of medium to longer distances with that recoil, but it is what it is here. You live and die by the Mac 10 up close. It's a fun weapon to use. Then lastly, you may have noticed throughout these class setups, we actually weren't including a secondary, and that is a good reason for that. Basically, we have here, we actually don't have a primary on this class setup at all. We do have the Pellington, but we're not including that in our close range class setup. One of the most powerful close range options in the game right now is the AMP63. This is a secondary that you can definitely run as a primary weapon in this game, and that is absolutely ridiculously powerful. Again, this is one of those weapons that is just deleting people up close, especially with the Akimbo variety. You do sort of compare this to the Diamati, and you're like, well, which is better? I think the Diamati might kill slightly faster, but the AMP63 is easier to use. So just keep that in mind. It is a bit of a toss-up here, but I really like the AM63 because I basically just have to click less to get more kills. Again, the stim shot, the Semtex, and the field microphone, you can choose whatever you do prefer in these slots. I really like these options though, especially the field microphone, a very, very cool piece of field upgrade equipment. Again, we aren't actually taking any attachments on our primary here, so gunfighter, we don't need that. But again, you can choose the AM63 on any class setup that you want. So you can take 8 attachments on your primary if you do prefer. So again, 6 perks, flak jacket, forward intel, tracker, and scavenger, and ninja, and ghost. And the attachments on the AM63 are going to be as follows here. You've probably seen this on most of my videos recently, but again, this class setup absolutely deletes people up close. Just an automatic pistol, super, super fun here. For that, we do have the muzzle. We take the agency suppressor for the little bit of extra recoil control and the 100% increase to our muzzle flash concealment. If you don't want to reduce your damage range by 25%, you can actually take the sound suppressor as well. And I do that most of the time, but it's sort of a pick and choose option as well. Then the barrel, we do have that reinforced heavy for the damage range increase and that bullet velocity increase. I have found that you can sort of pick people off at about 20 odd meters or so with these things, and it's a lot of fun to do so. Then the body, the 5mm laser for the 35% increase to our hip fire accuracy is really, really important for a dual wield akimbo class setup. Then we move on to the magazine. We do have the 25 round mag for the most amount of bullets to fire here. Easy option with this. And then to round this off, we do have the dual wield in the stock slot to give us 2 of these very powerful pistols that you do actually need to max level this at 35 to unlock the dual wield. Again, as I said, you can just run this on any of the class setups that we have featured today and have a very, very powerful close range all around build, ridiculously powerful up close. But again, the AM63 is a powerful enough weapon that you definitely can run it on your own and you will just remove people from the map. It is so much fun to just sprint around with the 2 pistols. I love it so much. Again, that is going to wrap up our top 5 of the close range powerhouses in the game. We do have the KSP, the AK74u, the monochrome AK47 with the Liberator barrel, then the Mac 10 as well, and we round this off with the AM63. There are a couple of other close range weapons that we didn't mention here today, like your shotguns and maybe your MP5. But again, I think these are the 5 best options in the game for close range combat at the moment. And as I said, if you do want to see a long range video, let's get this video to 20 likes and we will have that out by Friday. And again, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on that, and turn those post notifications on so you don't miss out on any of my upcoming videos. And of course, I will see you in the next one. Bye!